Alrighty, it is Thursday. Eurovision semi-final today, but I have to go back to Wednesday really quick. So, after I recorded audio, I went back on to unload my phone and work on the pages. I got off when Monica got out of the shower so we can read together. I worked on the drafts for pages 11 and 12, stopped at 9:16 to eat lunch. I resumed reading after lunch, stopped at 10 to resume work on the pages and the audio. By that point, my medication felt like it wore off. So we watched Senko-san, completely forgot about the audio during that time. Stopped at 10:20, went for a walk, got back on at 12:40, finished the artwork, 2 audio files, and then I completed and printed out the red draft for page 11 because that was the only page I had gotten finished. And I got off at 1:55, rested until 3:30. But Monica got off right as I woke up. So after that, I spent all the way up until like 5 p.m. working on the second Simon versus Philippe script. I stopped in the middle of it right when I had a thought and I couldn't figure out how to segue out when I got back to it the following day, but that's jumping ahead. So yeah, went back on to finish working on the pages. I loaded them at 5:48, resumed line arting, scanned page 10 at 6 and page 9 at 6:53, went to bed at 7, and then I realized too late that I completely forgot to proofread chapter 37. So I told myself, okay, get up at 10 and check it. So I woke up at like 10:30. I got up at 11, checked it, finished the last audio files and assembled the pages, passed the pages off to Monica 11:40, linered a little bit of page 11, and then I called a bit of the extras that haven't been finished yet. I did the skin, the eyes, and the mouths. I haven't done the hair, although I said the hair to be done next. I was planning on doing Philippe. After that, I finished the last audio file at 12:55, so I went to bed exactly 1 o'clock. Woke up at 5, got out of bed at 5:40, kicked Monica out of bed at 6, set my video to compress, got caught up with my journals and planners, cleaned the work desk area, and then I stopped to eat breakfast. It was raining all morning. The forecast said it would rain. After breakfast, we split up to work at 7. I resumed work on the script, and that's when I realized I didn't know where to go with it. Technically, I knew where to go. I just knew where I was going. I just didn't know how to make it feel organic at the point in which I left it. So by the time I reached the end, I was like, okay, I have 4 major problems here, and the only way I can feel like remedying them is just type the whole thing out and then dismantle it. Either that or try to like pull out another piece of paper and write it all over again, which I don't feel like it's a good idea. I feel like I need more space than I'm allowing myself. So this is definitely going to be a longer chapter than I originally intended. It's just that I wanted Simon to do some fighting, and I feel like I don't want to end up in a situation where Flea doesn't get too much of a chance to fight him. I'm considering typing out both for the first 2 scenes of the fight, and as well as the arrival when they show up, and then maybe even include the scene with Philippe calling LaBelle, and then trying to divide all those scenes up after I complete all of them, to divide them up so that way it fits either 2 or 3 chapters. So I don't know how I feel about breaking it up into 3 chapters, but I want to do that first and see if it works out. Alrighty. I feel like one of the scenes is gonna need I think it's gonna need flora and fauna scene to be done for. I think it's the opening needs flora and fauna scene first. I don't know, but I'm planning on doing all the flora and fauna scenes next week. I think I'll have time to do them this week. So yeah, I stopped when my video finished compressing at 7:32. Went back on to load it. Monica passed the pages up to me at 8, and then she left for the Town Square Plaza to get some things. I called until 9 and I got off. I was planning on doing the backgrounds during the voting period of Eurovision, so I got all the major shading done. Monica got back at 9:21. We read the rest of that first chapter of Star Darlings. It was awful. Oh my god, it was so bad. I remember when I read reviews for this book, a lot of people said that the author felt like they were bored and they were trying to rush to the ending. But I personally feel like the author doesn't acknowledge any of these characters as people. They seem like such cardboard cutouts. I mean, they try to dump random information about them, but they sort of seem like they're just like cardboard cutouts, and they're just checking off boxes, and it's just you probably saw me complaining about this on Twitter if you're following me on Twitter. I'm so annoyed with it. Okay, so stopped at 10 to make lunch. Finished line arting the first wallpaper for volume 5. I brainstormed ideas for the second wallpaper. I had an idea for Warren and Ivy, but I forgot to draw it, so I don't have that to do. Instead, I did a couple of Loris, and I got this one where Loris is being tucked into bed, sort of. And I think I might want to go with this because it looks easier. All I really need to do is just focus on balancing the background. Other than that, we stopped to eat lunch. Afterward, I went on to scan my pages. I turned on Eurovision. It was definitely more exciting than yesterday. Our favorite entry, Norway, got in. I was upset Moldova didn't make it in because the performance for that was really cool. Switzerland made it in. I was hoping they would. Sweden made it in. Who else made it in? There was a couple other ones that I was hoping would make it in, but I can't remember them at the top of my head right now, but they didn't. Besides Moldova, who else did I want to go in? I think Romania? Was it Romania the one that we wanted in? I don't remember. All I know is that Romania didn't make it in for a second year. I'm sure their country's pretty mad about that. I haven't checked to see who's popular and who hates who. I prefer Eurovision that way, honestly. I don't like reading the audience comments because they're supposed to just toxic and full of shit. Okay, so during the performance, I finished the line art for page 11, and then I finished a draft for page 12, and then I started drafting through the Philippe and Fouillard scenes in chapter 61. And if I'm planning on doing it 3 pages at a time, then that means all I have to do is just focus on 2 pages for each, because the 3rd page for most of them has been completed. So I need to figure out how I want to approach the scenes with Fauna and Byron and the others. As for Flora's magpies, I was working on those during lunch, so I just need to I need to make an organized sheet of them and then line art through them to make them nice and clean so I can have them as assets later. I need colored versions of them for the first page. I think I'm probably going to be using those again, so I need to keep them. Oh, what else is there? I ended up finishing the artwork as soon as the broadcast ended at 2:30, and then I got off. So now I am recording audio. This is what I need to do. I'm going to go back on at least an hour or 2 and put the text on pages 9 and 10 and load it. It should be easy because page 10, if Philippe is quiet and in shock. Oh, what else was there? And then I need to assemble page 11 and put it on the cartridge. And then I need to print out page 12 so I can line art it. I don't know how long it's going to take me to finish it though. What else is there? I need the magpies for that scene, so I need to print those out too. Oh, what else is there? What else is there I need to do? I think that's virtually it, so I'm probably going to spend all tonight working on page 12 and then perfecting the magpies. I really don't know what else is there for me to think about. I feel like that's virtually it. I'm hoping I can get through page 11 and 12 very easily tomorrow. And if I do, I'm gonna have a head start with other things. So I'm most likely, if I'm not gonna work on extras, I'm most likely gonna work on typing out what I have for the scene of Philippe versus Simon, and then fix the scenario so that way it escalates. I know exactly what's wrong with it, so I just need to think about how to guide it there. And that could be one of the tedious parts of it. Originally I wanted LaBelle to show up too late, and then by that point it's pointless. But at the same time, I feel like I should just leave it as is, because I feel like LaBelle needs to show up in order for Simon to feel like he can't stay. So I'm thinking about actually having LaBelle use his magic item earlier than what I was intending, because he was originally only supposed to use it on Ivy. And I kind of feel like, well, if Simon is using his magic item, it makes sense if Philippe calls for LaBelle specifically because he has magic. Kind of makes me wonder why Philippe doesn't have magic, though. Maybe he just doesn't think it's effective. I'm not sure. He never got the asset for it. I don't know. Alrighty then. That's all for today. I will see you in the next one. Alrighty, it is Friday, but I have to go back to Thursday really quick. So after I recorded, I crashed until like 4:30. When we woke up, I ate a light dinner. I went back on at 5 to finish the pages. I loaded them around like 5:55. And then I went to line arting, page 11, and I finished that. And then I stopped to try to work on the birds, but I didn't get very far with the birds. I ended up going to bed at 6. Got out of bed at like 5:30 a.m. I finished line arting page 12 and I assembled it. And then I kicked Monica out of bed at 6. I worked on the bird artwork. I got like one set of the poses for the birds done, and then I realized that I need to do another set of them, and I'm like, I'll do those a little bit later. Specifically, I needed different angles than the ones I had drawn. So I stopped to eat breakfast. We watched Carolyn Tuesday. The girls got their first boo. And it kind of makes me feel like, why couldn't they have just started with this? Because I feel like if they had gone, I don't want to say they'd gone straight to this, but I feel they should have gotten a lot more random small gigs first before this situation. It's just, I feel like they did this all wrong. But yeah, they were trying to replace this guy who is known for being a total nutcase. And, like, he ended up getting on stage, like, in the middle of their performance. They didn't get to finish what they were doing. And, like, the point of going to that music festival was to meet, what was it? I think what was his name? Was it Snip? Oh, shit. I think it was Snip. It's just, like, I don't know. He at first I thought he was going to be a rapper, but he ended up being, like, a blues singer or something. And then this, pop star named Crystal. So, yeah. Those are the two people that they met. Kind of reminded me of how Prince got booed opening up for what was it called? Rolling Stones, I think it was. I wonder if they're trying to give them that experience. It definitely gave them the whole Lady Gaga experience. Alrighty, so after that we left for Northgate to get water. Got back at 8:30. Resumed work on the magpies. I passed them off to Monica at 9. And she gave me page 12 that was finished, so I shaded until like 10:30. I got all the shading done, a little bit of the background, but not a lot. Got off, ate lunch in the bedroom, and then we hit the bank in Vaughn's because we weren't sure if we were going to have enough money to get groceries, but we managed to fit everything onto the card. Got back at like 12:30 and resumed work on pages 11 and 12. I finished the artwork at 1:40, and then I got tired and I got off. I rested until about 3:30. Monica served me some chicken, so we had a light dinner. Now I'm recording audio, so this is what I need to do. I need to put the text on pages 11 and 12 and load them. I also need to make some distance with what I have so far for the Philippe versus Simon scenes, because I want to see if I can actually divide those into 2 chapters, because I think I might have enough content for 3. Theoretically, the amount of stuff that needs to happen might actually be 3 chapters worth of content. So I need to decide how I'm going to break that up. Also, I don't know if I have time to do this tomorrow. I don't think so. I think I'm going to have to dedicate tonight and tomorrow specifically to just the work that I need to do for the Philippe and Simon scenes. But if I have enough time tomorrow, because I won't be working on anything else, most likely I'll try to do the Flora and Fauna and Clotilda scenes. I'm not really sure. I think I'm better off like writing those out by hand than trying to fit them together later. But if I can, I want to see if I can actually fit those in. During Eurovision, it's going to be the longest broadcast, so I'm going to try to get as far as I can into drawing the chapter 61. My goal is to try to do 3 pages a day so I can get done by Wednesday. I don't know if that'll be possible. It's been a while since I've done something like that. I think the last time I did 3 pages a day was like, I don't want to say it was last year. I think it was last year though. I can't remember when I stopped. I think it was around the time that we were coming towards the we were coming towards the launch. That was when I started stopping doing like I needed more time to work on catching up the extras. So it probably was 2 months before launch, and I haven't gone back since. So I'm hoping to try to do this, see if I fit it with it, and then keep doing that for the rest of June if I'm successful. I really need to take out the remaining time to finish volume 5 and finish as much as I possibly can for these scripts. So as soon as I just get through all the flora and fauna scenes, I can figure out how to divide it amongst the amount of chapters needed for to get through this this arc. I don't know. I guesstimate it was supposed to be around about, I think it was like 5 chapters. Hold on, let me look at that. It stops like around the point in which Marie gets a hold of Pasha and she introduces him to Shasta. So I'm not writing up to that point, but I am supposed to do the scene where Clotilda argues with Fauna and Flora and leaves. That's supposed to happen in the same chapter as that. I don't know if I have a chance to do that. All I know is that yeah, that's around about 4 to 5 chapters. I don't know if I'm gonna pull that off though. So we'll have to see. I would really need to invest time in the Shasta and Marie and Pasha scenes, but I need to know what my major goals. I need to reconsider what my major goals for those scenes are first, though. Is there anything else I need to talk about? Monica just pointed out to me that I have injuries in the back of my leg, and I didn't even realize it. And I'm trying to figure out how I got this. I just put some alcohol in it. I don't really know what it is. I assume it's a bug bite. But other than that, I really don't know. I guess so. It doesn't really hurt. I mean, it sort of hurts, but maybe it's mostly healed. I don't know. I was feeling an injury on my knee, but like, I don't know why or where that is. Alrighty then. That's all for today. I will see you in the next one. Alrighty, it is Saturday, the day of the Eurovision Grand Final. But I have to go back to Friday really quick. So I went back on to finish the pages. As soon as I was done with it and I had them loaded, I went to go type out the script that I had wrote. I didn't really get that far into the second half battle. I was feeling very uncomfortable with what I was writing, so I ended up getting off at 7. But I was still like very energetic, so I spent most of the night writing and sorting out the scenario of all the Philippe versus Simon scenes again, and I realized I need to push up certain actions earlier than what I originally did. I also organized the battle between LaBelle and Marie, as well as the first Clotilda versus Fauna and Flora. And I didn't go as far as the second half of that, but I need the second half of that in order to figure out where to move from the major collection of scripts that I need to do. I decided to worry about it later. I woke up at 5:30. I got up at 5:40. I went back to typing up the script. Still haven't finished it though. I did break down the outlines that I wrote, and so I decided, okay, I'm gonna try to basically just insert what's already done, and then just work around the spots that haven't been touched yet. So yeah, I stopped to eat breakfast. We watched a bunch of YouTube, but then we left for Walmart to go get some groceries. On the way there, I found a dime. I brought all the pennies too, so I ended up spending like about 15 cents, because one of the pennies was too corrupted to be accepted. So I came back with a broken penny. So we got back at about 9. I went to work on the scripts on the laptop because I was saving the computer until Eurovision. Monica ended up cooking some chicken, and then she cooked the pizza too early, so we ate before the broadcast. And then I went back on 11:40. I set up the live stream, and then I worked on a whole bunch of pages during the live stream. I actually got all the way up to page 10. There was one part that I messed up on, and it was supposed to be the scene in which Fauna unleashes the ribbons from her weapon, and I ended up drawing them in early, so I had to just white out that entire panel. I just whited it out. It was a really small slash panel, so I just whited it out. But yeah, so the voting, it looked initially like it was a battle between Macedonia, Sweden, and Azerbaijan. But once they brought in the audience vote, it came up to a battle between the Netherlands, Sweden, and Macedonia. Italy was in there, but it was a fight for fourth place with Italy. Other than that, it really seemed like Macedonia had the chance of winning. And then it seemed like Sweden had the best chance of winning, but the Netherlands actually won. And I had a sinking feeling when I was watching the performances that I felt like as middle ground as the song that was, I actually could feel like I had a really good chance of winning. But that being said, I didn't want it to. I wanted anybody else but that person to win. But he won anyway. And he must have been really, really surprised because up to that point, he had just been kind of like, in the middle with most of the votes. So suddenly skyrocketed and beat Sweden. It must have been like really, really surprising. For a while there, Norway was on top, but like Norway got outvoted, so that wasn't surprising. Other than that, it seemed like Norway was one of the few countries that got like the most audience votes, so that was nice to know. Other than that, so the contest is going to the Netherlands next year. Netta predicted that it would go to Amsterdam. They have to decide that themselves, though. To say that needs to host, we'll have to have the best hotels and locations near airports, and I figure Amsterdam is probably the best place for that. That's why she must have said it. I don't know. She must have said it because it's just a common place for people to go. So yeah. Is there anything else? Other than that, Madonna was probably like the worst thing that happened there. That was like the most annoying performance to watch. Other than that, I like the cameos from Conchita and Eleni and Verka and Hans. It was nice to see them again. I feel like Hans and Conchita are like I feel like they're permanently stuck in the Eurovision brand now. They're just like ambassadors for it. They just keep coming back. Same for Verka, it just keeps coming back. Same thing for Lord too. Or is it Lordi or just Lord? I can't remember the name of is it Lordi? I don't know. But yeah, they just keep coming back. I wonder if Eleni will also, but like Eleni was already a big star before she competed. So, I don't know. Other than that, she came in a nude suit. There were so many nude suits this year. I feel like every Eurovision there's always this one like thing that's in vogue. Like one year it was capes, and then one year it was forest backgrounds, and then this year it was nude suits. So, so much nudity. Other than that, she was basically covering up all her private parts with stars as she sang Verka's song. That was cool. But the problem is that because there's so much dancing in that song, she ended up lip syncing it. So that was a bit disappointing. Other than that, I kind of don't blame her. And then Verka sang Toy, which was more like a mashup between his own song and Toy. So yeah, is there anything else besides that? Other than that, the highlight was I actually got to watch it with a few other fans. You see, yesterday someone finally made a chat for 25-year-old and older Tapas creators, and I casually mentioned Eurovision the first day I was chatting, but then I ended up posting up the live stream in the chat, and a couple of people were watching, but I think they were already in Europe. So yeah, and so I got to comment on what we were watching together, and I feel bad for hijacking the chat. So we were talking about something else other than art and shit. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. I wasn't sure if I would actually stay in that chat for long because I didn't really like some of the first conversations that we had. We'll see how it goes. In the meanwhile, is there anything else that's on my mind? No, I think it's virtually it. So this is what I need to do now. At some point, I need to get back on the computer and I need to print out the first 3 pages for tomorrow. I need to start line arting them. And I have the majority of the chapter done, so I'm going to get through it pretty fast. Is there anything else? I think the only thing that could possibly make me not go through it fast is the fact that I have to line art a lot of characters at once. So I'm expecting to probably do those scenes throughout the week when Monica and I are reading. The only pages I didn't get drafted are I think 11 and 12 are the last two. And so I need to do that at some point. I'm not really sure if it's the scenes that require like really awesome poses or whatnot. It probably are. But yeah, that's as much as I can think of. Other than that, I got my hair cut. After we watched the broadcast, I cut my hair and then we took a shower. So Monica's in the shower right now. It's 4. It's typically the time we go to sleep, but I don't know. I still have to do the pages. I have to print them all out. Is there anything else that's on my mind? And then I have to keep fussing with the scripts. I'm debating on whether or not I want to go back on the laptop and try to do that. I just rearranged the laptop situation, so I don't want to have to undo all that. I don't know. Alrighty then. That's all for today. I will see you in the next one. Alrighty, it is Sunday, but I have to go back to Saturday really quick. So, after I finished recording, I updated my journals and planners. I got tired and I went to bed at 5, rested until 7, went to work on the pages. I printed everything out, and then I started lining the first 3 pages, got tired and got off at 8. I woke up at 12:30. I got up at 1 a.m. We're doing work on pages 1, 2, and 3. The headache that I had from the day before, I still sort of had it a little bit. I'd argue that I still have it now, but it's so very faint. I don't really notice it unless I really shake my head. I scanned the page 2 liner at 1:05, the page 3 liner at 1:56, and the page 1 liner at 2:24, and then I got tired and I got off immediately. And I woke up at 5:30 a.m. I got out of bed at 5:50. I assembled pages 1, 2, and 3. I filled in pages 2 and 3. I passed page 1 off to Monica. I kicked her out of bed at 6. And then I stopped to eat breakfast. We watched some YouTube. We split up at 7. I shaded until 8, and then I got tired and I got off. Monica got off at 8:30, and then we hit Vaughn's. We got back at 9:21. We ate lunch. We went back to work at 10:30. I got tired from all the work that I was doing at 11:30. By that point, I think I got through the majority of the artwork or the shading. I can't remember what I did specifically. But I crashed and I slept until 1:30, went back on to finish the artwork, completed the art for pages 2 and 3 at 2:30, and then I went straight to work on page 1, but all I managed to do was the characters' collars, and that's it, and I got off at 3, rested until 4, and then I turned on the computer just now, and I just realized that I didn't record yet, so I'm recording now, so this is what I need to do. I need to finish page 1, and then I need to put the text on everything and load it, and then afterward I need to start lining the next 3 pages. The only thing I'm happy about is that I don't have to fill anything in tomorrow. Monica's going to do it completely, so I can go back to working on the scripts. So my goal is to start writing through flora and fauna scene, even though that I don't know what I'm going to do I don't know what to do about fixing Philippe's scene at the moment. I feel like it's important to fix that, but I also feel like I want to get through flora and fauna scenes first, because I had that plan for this week. Is there anything else that's on my mind besides that? No, I think that's virtually it. Alrighty then. That's all for today. I will see you in the next one. Alrighty, it is Monday, but I have to go back to Sunday really quick. So after I recorded, I went back on to color the backgrounds of page 1 and then put text on all the pages. I finished and loaded them at 6 p.m. I got off and went to bed. I had anticipated that I would wake up sometime around 11, but I had a really hard time falling asleep. I know at way well until 8 o'clock at night I was still awake. I ended up waking up from a dream at 11 though, so I got up anyway, despite the fact that I did not get enough sleep. I got 2 hours of sleep. So I got up, I line arted, I finished and scanned page 4 at 12:03, page 5 at 12:40, and then page 6 at 1:07 a.m. I got off at 1:19 because I actually spent a little bit of time editing the scans, and I found this guy binge watching and reviewing every single episode of Big Bang Theory, and I got curious. I just wanted to know what happened at the end. So I had to start from I think 2 seasons ago or something like that. I can't remember the last point in which I watched it, because I was at the last point in which I owned a television. So yeah. So I got off and I went back to sleep. I woke up around 5:30. I got up at 5:40. I assembled the pages. Monica got up at 6, and much to our surprise, she actually got her period. That's amazing because her medication is preventing her from getting her period. Oh my god. So yeah, I passed the pages off to her. I resumed working on the chapter with Philippe versus Simon, the first part. And then I stopped to eat breakfast. We watched Precure, and then we split up at 7. And then I worked a little bit on the chapter 63 script. I got stuck at the point in which Flora points out to Fauna that they could be sisters, and I'm not really sure how to have Fauna respond to that. I stopped to rest because I was extremely tired. And then we had a very light lunch because we were planning on going to the library at 10. So at around 9, we ate a very light lunch. And then I got caught up with my journals and planners waiting for Monica to finish coloring in pages 4, 5, and 6. And then we left for the library. And as we were passing by the skate park, I saw that it was loaded with bottles. So I ran in there and I picked them all up. When we got to the library, all the best bicycle spots were taken. So we had to go to the overflow bicycle rack, which is in the parking lot. Because like the normal bicycle rack, the majority bicycle rack for the majority of the bicycles is in the front. So we locked up. Monica returned the 2 books that we couldn't really read. And then we spent the whole time looking around the children's section. We just want to read something short. We don't want to read something that's like weighty. So we were looking around the children's section for something that seemed easy. And I found this book called Eggs Over Evie. And like, I don't know if I'm going to like it. It's mostly about cooking, but about this girl's life drama. So we'll see how that turns out. It might not be that good. All I know is that if we don't like it, we're going to have to go back tomorrow and get rid of it. So, yeah. We got home sometime around 12. I didn't check to see exactly the time. We ate salad. And then I shaded pages 4, 5, and 6 up until 2 p.m. So I just got off right now and I'm recording. So this is what I need to do. I need to go back on it within an hour or 2 hours to finish what I was doing. So either 3 or 3:30. I feel like 4 is a little too late. Only one page is as close to getting as finished as possible. I think it's like page 4 itself. And then we have to figure out what to do with page I think page 5 just requires work on the backgrounds and that's it. But page 6 requires explosions, and I need to like remember how I did the explosions for the combat sequence of the original. I don't really remember. I have a general idea how I did it, but I have to like literally like go back and look at it. I know what brush I used though to do it. I used a couple of them. Is there anything else that's on my mind? No, I think that's virtually it. Alrighty then, that's all for today. I will see you in the next one. Alrighty, it is Tuesday. It's the last recording of the week. I'm gonna have to go back to Monday really quick. So after I recorded, I crashed until 3:30. We got a call from Monica's doctor. She had to go and access the voicemail to see what they wanted. Apparently, she has to get an MRI scan. She also needs to do lab work again, but they need to give her the paperwork to do that because she can't just show up without it. So yeah, while she was fussing with that, I went back on the computer. I tried to finish the artwork and add the text. I ended up uploading the pages at 5:48, and I noticed right when I was uploading them that apparently this chapter also got flagged for adult content. I'm so confused because first off, it's a locked blog. The only people who have access to are the patrons. As far as I know, that's only 2 people. Secondly, I don't know what's considerably sexual about it. I think of it as misunderstanding what the birds look like. Or maybe it's a misunderstanding Clotilda's boobs. I don't know. All I know is that there's nothing really inherently sexual about this chapter. I just assume that maybe it's the birds. I don't know. They don't look like penises. They're birds. So yeah, I ended up unflagging it just like the chapter before it. So I don't know what it is in chapter 60 and 61. Apparently they're too sexual. So yeah, I got up immediately, but I was still wide awake. I wasn't tired enough to go to sleep yet, when I came back to the bedroom, I found Monica writing. So I ended up inviting her to read the book that I brought home. It's written in the first person, so it was a lot easier to get into. Basically, it's about this girl who has a mother who's a piano teacher, and then her father is a famous culinary chef who has a newspaper article, and he's also on a television cooking show or something like that. And they get divorced because he wants to go be with his editor, and they get married, and they end up having a baby or having twins, or it's just announced, they got announced in chapter 2 they're gonna have twins. So on top of that, the girl is trying to learn how to cook because cooking is the only way of feeling closer to her father, even though he moved away. And she's trying to make a little side income, so she's also a pet sitter as well as a personal chef, sort of. But like that's the side of her that no one's really all that interested in. So the only person who she works for is this woman named Miss Hamilton, who apparently has a lost cat. The cat's name is Millie, but Monica hates the name Millie, so she keeps changing it to Whiskers. I really want to review this book, but like we're not that far into it to make a full review yet. But like so far we're both really into it, mostly because it's in the first person. It makes me wish I could have found more first person books to begin with. But yeah, other than that, it's really interesting. I can sort of relate to her missing her father, but at the same time not really, because like my dad died. It's not the same as having a divorced father, which I feel like is probably much worse. I don't know. Because, like, to have that person just move on with you and treat you like you don't exist is, like, fucking shit. But to have that person just not exist anymore, period, that hurts too. I can't figure out what would be worse. So, yeah. I mean, I've only experienced that with, say, like, Christina, maybe. But I wasn't never really that close to Christina, but Monica was. Monica was really close to Christina. So while she was reading the book, I ended up line-arting all but one page. That one final page I had to do. I think it was the middle page, and I just had to do the top panel, and that's it. I think it was the last page, actually. I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, I ended up stopping at like 7, and I left everything on the scanner. And when I woke up, it was like 12 midnight. I ended up getting up at like 1:30 because I just didn't have the energy at first. I scanned the 2 pages that were done, and then I finished and scanned that last page at about like 1:52, and then I assembled everything and passed it out to Monica at 2:30, and then I went straight back to bed. So I tried to pay the AT&T bill because it was the 21st, but there was no information on it, which confused the crap out of me. I have no idea what happened. So every time I keep checking back, it just keeps showing me the information for last month's AT&T bill, not this month. So I don't know, I'm just a little disturbed by that. So in the morning, I tried to kick Monica up 10 minutes before 6, but she wouldn't get up. I mean, I kept telling her it's so many minutes have passed, get up, and so she finally got up at 6:20, so it was practically 6:30. So I went on to see if One Punch Man was available, and it wasn't, so I ended up just setting up a bunch of random YouTube videos for us to watch, and then we ate breakfast. So we split up at around 7, and then I went back to work on the scripts. I wrote until like 8:30. I haven't really landed the punchline. The punchline is Clotilda's supposed to get mad that Fauna's working with the enemy. The issue is that I'm having her spy on her and Flora right now, and that's as far as I've gotten with it. So I need to land that. I think I'm either at the end of the first page and I'm on the beginning of the second page. It's mostly a dialogue chapter, so there isn't any combat in it, so it can be 2 pages long if I need it to be, but I don't want it to be too long. I don't remember if something else was supposed to happen in this chapter. I think it was supposed to be Philippe and Fuya run into Simon. I think that's the other thing that's supposed to happen. So I'm trying not to spend too much time focused on just all of them just talking to each other. So I need to focus on Clotilda getting mad and wanting to kill them. So yeah. So Monica got tired around like 8:40, so we decided to leave for the Town Square Plaza and look around. So we hit the first place we went to was Ross, and we just wandered around. There was nothing new. They're starting to have less books that are Christian books. They're starting to have more books that are generic books, which is kind of rare. So I'm hoping that maybe next month when a new installment comes in, we might have more to pick from. I don't really know. Other than that, most of the stuff that we're interested in buying, they didn't have it there, so we skipped everything and we went to 99-cent store. I don't know how much money we spent. I have to update the budget. I found a dime while I was there, so I came back with an extra dime. After that, we hit Target, and then we got home at around like 10 a.m. So, Monica made lunch because we bought grandma's chicken at Target, so she made that for lunch. And then she went to fill out the pages while I try to finish working on the poses for page 11 and 12 because I haven't finished drawing those out yet. And I need to do those for tomorrow. So, she passed the pages off to me sometime around like 11:30ish. I'm rounding, I'm not really sure. And then I invited her to go take a shower. So I'm out. I'm already washed. I'm surprised at how fast my hair gets greasy. It was just barely like a few days ago I took a shower. Ugh. Okay, this is basically what I need to do. At some point, I need to get back on the computer and work on pages 7, 8, and 9. So, I feel a little behind today because I haven't had a chance to even like think about them. I've been spending most of the time just focusing on the poses for the next 2 chapters. Other than that, what else is there? I am running out of brown ink. I don't have a backup brown, G2 brown. That's kind of a bummer because I want to keep writing in brown in this book. I guess I could switch to orange. It's really not the same though. I wanted the whole book to be brown. Ugh. It's very low, so I should consider throwing away. I don't know if Monica has a brown. I don't think so. Let me see. Because, like, if she has a brown pilot friction, maybe I can use that. Last time when I ran out of green, she let me borrow her green. I don't know about these. It doesn't seem like she has one. Like, she has copper, but that's not the same thing. I don't want to waste it on my journal. That's more of a decor pen for decorating shit. Yeah, I think I might as well just, like... I might as well switch over to orange, because I'm still I have this orange I'm still trying to complete. I guess I'll just finish off the orange and the pink. Alrighty. Is there anything else that's on my mind? Okay, so, I need to finish those pages. I need to unload this phone and start editing the audio, because this is the 6th audio recording for the week. What else is coming up? I wanted to go to the recycling tomorrow, but we still don't have enough bottles, even though I found a whole bunch of bottles while we were out yesterday. Yeah, I need more bottles still. We said that we would go without the cans because the cans aren't big enough. The collection of cans isn't big enough yet. I feel like I haven't been finding as many cans lately, so it hasn't been growing. But I'm getting really close to filling up the second bag, so as soon as it's big enough, we're gonna take it. So I don't think it's gonna be this Wednesday. I think it's gonna be like next Wednesday or something. Next Wednesday should also be the tenant meeting, I believe. I don't really remember how many days into the next month. I have to go look at that later. Is there anything else? Inksgiving starts tomorrow. So that's going to be exciting. Let's see how that turns out. I also need to proofread chapter. I think it's 38 now. I don't really remember. Alrighty then. That's as much as I could think of. I will see you in the next one.